Okie dokie. Going over our focus group information here, starting out with our Goldman Sachs weekly chart. One thing we've talked about considerably over the past several weeks is the weekly swing high points and its ability to hold them. We talked about it when we broke the swing high point here. We came through, we held, we got a pop, we held, we popped again. Double top here, by the way. Double top, and then this past week, Friday closed below that prior weekly swing high point. First time it's done that in a while. So we got to look at something with this. Continued down movement could have us retesting a swing low point, which, 176.91 would be a target area. So about a, $10, $11 drop. And if we were to lose that, it would be the retest of a swing point here, which would be 169.84 area. This is earnings week. Earnings isn't until Friday, which means it's an entire week of inflated premiums. So hopefully with our existing positions, we get some sort of move while the premiums are inflated. But if not, we still got to kind of step back and not rush into anything with it right now, simply due to the earnings week. Things could go down all week long and then turn around on Friday with good earnings and go boom, or vice versa. They could go up all week long and miss on earnings and fall apart. So it's going to be best if we really focus our attention on post earnings for Goldman Sachs. But moving over here to the daily chart, we had a lower low here, a lower high here, and after a drop, what was really just a dead cat bounce. But I want you to focus first on the daily chart and look that all it's really done is filled this gap. So even though it had a big red candle, it was one big red candle that filled the gap from the two green candles, and we've really got to get continuation down below 187.28. If we do, though, we might actually get down and see this 178.28 area. If we do, even though there's earnings, we might try to make a trade before the earnings, something to, carry for throughout the week. Um, and the one I have listed as the potential, February monthlies for this that would be kind of protect ourselves because we do have some calls for post earnings. And that's what we would look to take with the daily chart. But it would be to that 178.28 target area. And finally, here on the 60-minute chart, there's another. This would be just a little trade, but it'd be a quick trade if it happened. So with it being earnings week, I would love something that I could buy Monday and sell Tuesday or Wednesday before the earnings. And really, that would be what I have annotated here. If we came down to that gap fill point, that's what I was talking about from that daily chart. But if we drop that point, that 187.28, 187.30 area, then we should at least be able to get, $2.50, $3 drop. I would think down to this last low area, 184.27, and potentially down to here, 183.44. And for that, I'd probably just look to January 23rd. This week is when the January monthlies, the January 17th expiration is. So it'd be the next week. And we would look at that for something that we'd only be in like a day or two that we could, if we get that move, make a little profit off of before the earnings. Um, Basically, just to make the week not so, or not feel so boring waiting for the earnings. That's one thing that sucks about Friday earnings, but they are pre-market earnings on Friday, so typically pre-market earnings you can get pretty good trades during that day as well because you get to see the earnings. It might gap in a direction, but usually you'll get some good volatility um, throughout the day as it carries on from the open. So that's what we'll be looking forward to. But the most important aspect is to realize earnings is on Friday, so we're going to have some inflated premiums and not really necessarily needing to force things. As far as the focus group goes, I fell really behind this weekend. Those of you that were in the chat room Friday, I've been helping out a local family that lost their home in a fire on Thursday night, late Thursday night. It really consumed my weekend more than I thought I would. So with the Apple stuff, I'll fill in some stuff as I get the opportunity. I'm not sure this week, or I'm not sure yet if this week is something where we would start a trade on it, but we may. So I would make sure to get out ample information, more than just like an alert if the need be for that. Again, thanks for being patient with me. I've got a bunch of emails I'm backed up on to answer. I really, truly haven't slept all weekend. My eyes and nose burn from going in and out of a burnt down house several times this weekend, and it's been an experience, a very humbling experience, but one that I'm proud to be a part of. So I'll see y'all in the chat room tomorrow morning, and look forward to trading with you this week.